Hey everybody, welcome back to my live stream. This is day 3. Thank you so much for tuning in today. It's a bit later than usual, 2 hours later. It's 10 o'clock here in Holland. But I thought, hey, let's just switch it up a little bit, change the time. I will do that more often as well, because all around the world, for example, Australia is now sleeping, and I want to be available for them live as well in the near future. So I might be doing a lot of different times doing this stream. But today, it's late in the evening here in Holland, so thank you all who are tuned in today. I'm still working on my album. I tell this every stream, but also today, finishing up the album, and I'm going to work on a quite different track today. The track already has a vocal, and I call this track Butterfly. It will be on the album, so this is also a sneak preview of one of my new tracks for my album. I'm going to work on it today. Also, I really would like to know, of course, what you guys think of this track. I think there are so many cool elements in this track, especially the melody which I created for this one has a really nice, I don't know, I think it's even a summer vibe for some reason. So again, I'm really looking forward to your response on this track, of course. I have everything set up. I can see your comments over here, so keep the comments coming. Share this with your friends, share this with everybody. I love to have you guys over here in the live stream. Alright, so this track starts off a little... Oh wait, I'm typing in the chat right now. Well, like I said, new track starts off with kind of a summary. Look for yourself how this one goes. I will show you guys the project as well. Here we have the project running, and the vocal part, instruments, leads, everything is set up in folders as I always do. Let's not get too technical, let's just listen to what I have done in this track.
Sometimes I feel I'm a butterfly, 'cause right now my head got high. Come to my right, take me to your night, make me my night. I wanna be on fire, I wanna feel alive, I wanna feel alive. So I can deny, oh I can deny, I feel in paradise, every color in my mind.
So I think this part, the second drop, needs some work. I kind of like the idea myself, but it's kind of off compared to the first part. So I want to work on maybe the leads, or maybe I don't know, maybe I have to skip the whole part, but I'm not sure about it anyway. But the first drop Yeah, the kick is awesome. Thank you so much for noticing. I really love this kick. It's quite deep, but I don't know, the overlap, it doesn't match still, and also the sound of that part. You know, I think we can do a lot better over there. Okay, but thank you so much that you guys like this track, because it's indeed quite different. Also different from what I usually do. Well, of course I do hardstyle and I do many kinds of tracks, but this is something I haven't done yet before, and yeah, with the reverse bass going up and down with the notes, also that's kind of fun with this track. No, I did not do this. I did not make this today. I actually made this a couple of weeks ago. I kind of have this idea. Well, no, I started with the breakdown, and then I worked on the vocals with someone, and then I built the whole track around it. You know, I still need some work on the vocal. I kind of made it a little bit distorted so that it's quite going in your face in the high end, you know, and I really like that with the lower part, the reggae kind of part, you know. Yeah, it's indeed a very summery track in the winter. That's very funny, but it kind of is like that, you know, because this track will be released on my OMG's Frontliner album. It will be released very soon, because I have so many elements also done for this track, and so I don't need that much work anymore. All the elements are there. It's just fine-tuning, finishing up the track, and yeah, from there I have to go, you know. So again, thank you so much for your I wonder how it would sound with a regular Frontliner kick. Yeah, well, don't worry about the regular. I don't know even what that means, because I have a different kick in every new track I do, but the regular Frontliner kick, I think you mean a kick like in Symbols and the Weekend Warrior track, that kind of typical Frontliner hardstyle kick maybe. But those will be on the album as well, you know. I want to have a really wide variety of tracks on my album, so there's something for everybody to like, and also I will show so much parts of me as a producer at this album, and that's what I really love, and that's what I also think an album should be about, you know, just showing all the elements that you can do within hardstyle, of course, because it will be a hardstyle album, but I want to show you guys so much that I can do in the studio, all the things that I like as well, you know, and it will also be like something that I put in the tracks that I what I have well, not going through, but I did so many shows the last years, and I've been to so many places. I met so many cultures, so many different kind of fans, and with all that knowledge I kind of made this album really specific for all those little differences in the cultures that I met, you know, and that's also what this album stands for a little bit. So that's a little bit my idea, my vision about this album. Alright, so again, Butterfly, reggae kind of feel in this track. I really think this will get that summer vibe feeling going on, you know. By the way, this is yesterday I gave away a denim jacket on the live stream to Nicole. I'm going to send it tomorrow, by the way. But yeah, this is the jacket that she won. I'm really happy with the jacket. Yesterday I was wearing the Frontliner bomber jacket, and this is the denim jacket. It will be available on the new Frontliner store really soon, the merchandise store, and yeah, look out for that as well. Cool. Also, since you guys are just tuning in, first of all, it's the third day. It's the 3rd of January, so I'm still allowed to say Happy New Year. This will be the last day that I will say that to you. I think the 3rd is like the line. So anyway, oh wait, no, I'm sorry. I was confused because Nigel won this jacket and Nicole won the bomber jacket. So I should not be messing up those two. Thank you so much. Anyway, what was I saying? Okay, I told you the story about the album. What I was about to say, you only have 3 days left for the gig tutorial contest. Yes, that's over here. You can win Cubase 10. I will keep it short about that right now. Anyway, make sure you look out for that if you want to win a full license of Cubase 10. And the album, I'm going to work on Butterfly today, which is already approved by a lot of you people, a lot of good response on this. And I'm going to work on it a little bit more because, like I said, the second drop, the sound needs some finishing touch as well as the overlap. It's quite cool, but I think the vocal, maybe I have to switch it a little bit maybe and make some more effects, and it needs to drop properly, you know. So let me just go through it again and see what I can figure out and do with this track. So this is where it drops the first time. I think this is really cool. Yeah. I think this part, this lead needs to be more distorted, you know. So let me just go towards this. It's a massive lead, and I think there's already a little bit. There's no distortion on it. Oh yeah, there's a clip distortion on here. So maybe I should EQ it and add another distortion. I will try Destroyer first to keep it really simple, and let me just grab another EQ for that, because I think it should be more distorted. Yeah, that's just the right word, you know. And let me just grab some peaks over here in the equalizer. So now it's gone. Let me check the volume. Okay, I also think I need one extra octave on this lead. I have it higher up in the frequency as well. This is the one. Let me see if I can ring modulate it. This is almost there. What I notice right now that the lead I just worked on has a lot of high end, which is really nice in the mix, but the first melody, if I go back to that one, I think it misses a lot of high frequency, and therefore this part will be less energetic, you know, than the second part, because if I listen to this next to the other melody, so this is cool. More high end, you know? So I think I need to turn this down a little bit since it's going through the same channel. So let me grab another EQ. Let's EQ the whole thing some more. Let's put away some of the high frequency. Let's bring that back over here in the group channel where all the leads come together, you know. I don't have to do that. I see that I already put this in a different channel, so I can actually just EQ the main lead over here, because the other one is the second lead. So I did this the proper way already. So let me grab this one again. Let's see what I have over here. I can just EQ this one some more, you know. That will be nice. Let me turn the volume down a little bit more. Towards that second part again. Second build up, same vocal.
Sometimes I feel I'm a butterfly.
I did a lot of effects on the vocal.
My head gone high, gone to my right. Take me to your night, make me mine. I wanna be your high.
So that's kind of already all the elements of this track. I need an outro, of course, after this, because this is the end of the track right now. I need a little bit more announcement here towards the second melody. It's a bit far away. I think you guys might even not notice that the melody build up again. So I need to find the right balance between building up the melody together with the vocal, because if I put too much melody in there, the vocal will be vanished. And a tricky part when working with vocals anyway is if you are producing a track with a vocal, you get to know the vocal so well that if you are mixing it down, you can probably still hear the vocal while it might be too low volume, and other people might not even have a clear listen, can have a clear listen to the vocal. You know, that's a problem that I had a lot in the past when I was just a young producer, and I really noticed that it's a really good thing if you are working on a track to really keep a clear listen to the vocal, because you know what it says, and therefore you can understand the vocal anyway when it's in the track. But if you are mixing it down and you hear it over and over and over again, you really somebody else will not notice the vocal and will not have a clear listen, cannot have a clear listen to the vocal, and might not understand what it's saying. You know, so that's really a thing that you really need to take care of. And also, what I'm going to do right now, what I might overdid a little bit now, is to give a lot of space to the vocal, because it's quite empty here. There's some build up going on with the percussion and some instruments, but the melody is not too much going up on there, you know. So now you can still have a clear listen to what the vocal does, but I want a little bit more melody coming up here. So let me just see what I can do over here. So I have this going on. So that's not so much, you know, and I think this one can have a little bit more filter upwards, because the higher note is actually the addition to the second melody. You can see it's not over here. Over here you just have the lower part. And over here we have an additional layer, which is a more top layer. So I want this one even to pop out a little bit more over here, just a little bit. So the whole mix is louder, because also the kick is louder, and we have now the top end of the melody. And now I really want to see what I can do together with the build-up of the vocal to announce the melody a little bit more and not interfere with the vocal. So let me just see what I can do. Maybe I can also add some, let me just think for a little. I have a few things that I can do. I can, for example, take this one note and put this on top of here in the build-up, but that might be a little bit distracting as well. I can try. I will try this one. So let me just copy this over here, mute this part, and just grab the build-up, which I have over here. I actually only need one of these, and I also will bring, these are reversed reverbs, so I will take these as well and copy them towards this build-up. I think I might want to keep this one, so I will not copy the whole thing, only these parts together with the reversed. Wait, let me just grab these. Reversed reverb, and there we go. Let me copy this on top of here, and let me just see if this sounds alright for me, you know. Let me just get this automation going. So I think this should kind of be in sync with the melody over here. So let me just have a listen if this does not interfere with the melody too much. I think this is cool. I think this is really cool. So I just added some steps over here, and what I notice over here is that these two do not match each other. So I think I need a shorter one on this one, or just edit these little parts. I think I will just do that, you know, just only the first. Oh, let me just grab these so you guys can see what I'm doing. I have a much wider screen, so I have to make all the windows smaller so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. Alright, so let me just grab all these additional notes. Oh, only these, I'm sorry. Alright, and let me just grab these first ones and make them longer. So now they should be in sync with these, you know. Let me just see what happens over here. I think this is really nice right now. I think all the build-ups are quite cool. So let me check again this little part over here after the first drop, because actually the first drop I put a lot of attention at this, so this is exactly right, you know. So now let me check what will happen if I play this and see the second drop again. So I open my own stream again.
Sometimes I feel I'm a butterfly, 'cause right now my head gone high. Come to my right, take me to your night, make me mine now. I wanna be on fire.
Right here now is just copy the longer reverse reverb. I want this to be announced before the stabs over here, you know. So let me just go back again. Better. So I see a whole discussion about producing with headphones or not. Well, I do produce sometimes with headphones, but never in the studio. I only do that when I'm on the road, you know, when I'm in a hotel room and I want to do something, then I can work with a headphone. But for me, maybe also because I'm not used to it, but I don't have that right feeling of producing when I use a headphone. That's also because, well, you cannot see it, but there's a really big subwoofer underneath here. So for when you are in a room, in a decent room where you can work in, of course, then I really prefer speakers, because it's more an environment thing for me. It should not be too close to your ears or something, you know. This is more a good feeling, you know, and you can really feel the sound as well. You can feel the bass, you can feel, well, also it's a matter of having really, if you have really good speakers, there are no headphones that can match that, you know. And maybe I don't have the right answer for why it's better, but it might be just a feeling, you know. Yeah, I almost never use a headphone to produce. I don't know. Maybe I haven't had a proper headphone to actually have an honest view of how it should sound like, you know. I have that with my speakers, and that's also, I'm really used to my speakers, of course. I have these for 4 years, something like that, 4 or 5 years maybe. So that's why I'm really used to these. Yeah. So no headphones for me. Which speakers do I have? These ones are not made anymore. Well, the brand still exists. It's Blue Sky, and this is the BA5. I don't know. It's on the back, man. Well, I will look it up. They're not. Oh, it's the SAT5, SAT5 with a subwoofer. Really nice. It sounds between Genelec and Din Audio. Din Audio has more the high end and is a little bit less in the mid section. While the Genelecs are really aggressive in the mid section, in my opinion. And this one is just in between, so it sounds just right for me, you know. And that's also different for everybody, you know. But the most important thing is that you can listen, that you can hear every frequency and have a really good and honest representation. Whoa, what a word! Of the whole spectrum, you know. That's important. I definitely want to do another demo time, and I haven't announced a date yet because next Sunday might be a little bit too early for that. I will announce a new demo time this stream. Let me think about that. Because also after the last one, which was the 9th of December, I still received a lot of demos, so I can easily just do another one. But I want people to just be prepared a little bit more, and also the ones who already sent their demo right after the last demo time, and that means after the 9th when I did the demo time. Those demos I will listen to in the next demo time. So if you send one, then make sure, yeah, you know, because what I want to say, yeah, if you send another demo, I will listen to the first one. So so next time when I announce the demo time, I will start with a clean slate. But since I have so many demos right now, so I want to listen to them as well in the demo time. So, like I said, I will announce the next date of demo time in just a few minutes. I'm going to think about whether I will do that next Sunday or the week after. Because next Sunday I'm going to do something a little bit different on the live stream. But I will announce that as well. Anyway, this track, I think we have so much done already. Well, I haven't done much actually today at this track. Well, I did something on the lead which I wanted to change, and what I will do right now is just really finish the track. I usually don't do that on the live stream, but now I'm going to work on the mix, the intro of the track. You know, the part where you can actually mix in the track. This is, well, usually not too much. Yeah, not so much going on or something, but hey, it needs to be done, and why not do this in the live stream? So what I usually do is just start with a little kick thing. Well, I have a few elements, of course. I have some trap kind of elements in this track which I can use for the intro. That might be fun. So let me see if I have some parts like that. Maybe I will find some parts from the first drop, all the percussion and everything, because there are some trap overlaps over here. I mean this part, this one. So let me grab this. Oh wait, now I need to remove this part again. So let me just try some stuff out. I'm usually not too much of difficult things in the intro. This is a nice guitar kind of loop which I made in a different track even with the absinthe. It's pretty funny. I just bounced it and put it in this project. Okay, so let me grab one of these kicks and just make a really short one which I can just loop, you know. Well, not loop, but just put on every note over here, so it sounds something like this. Well, this is quite funny. It's like a bassline thing here, which I did in the massive. Just an addition to the bassline, you know, to give it a little bit more groove. Okay, don't want these notes to go up. I think I kind of like these though, and I will just keep them like that, and these will be like this. Okay, there's like I said, there's a little trap kind of thing going on over here. That's not over here. Where was it? I had something going on. I think over here. This one. I needed this one. Okay, let me just grab this and put it first over here. Let me remove these parts. And let me just grab this. I think this should be right. Alright. That's funny. Okay, let me just grab this part again. Let me just make it a little bit longer over here so it gets a little bit more depth in this kick over here. Let me just add some additional kicks over here. Alright. This one is for the how do you say, the volume shaper, which is the sidechain effect, you know. There's not much to sidechain, but this does get sidechained. The reverb of the guitar loop gets sidechained, you know. So I have some uplifters over here before the first drop. I want to add this to this little part over here, and let's just drag this. This is a uplifter which I made with the massive. I did it a couple of times in the live streams. It's just, you know, I made a lifter automation over here which will automate the pitch and some other cool stuff, you know, like the LFO rate, and yeah, just fun stuff to make it really going up. Okay, so there needs to be done a little bit more over here, and I heard something in between this part. So I kind of liked this overlap together with the percussion, which I'm going to use at the end of this loop. Well, I can just put it on here, I think. Without the bass lines. Without the notes over here. Which I also need to pitch. So I also want this kick to go faster a little bit. I hear a little edit which I want to do over here, which will sound nice with the rest. I just hear stuff just on the fly, you know. Okay, now I need this to go faster, but I want to do it a little bit more different than usually. I want this in between kicks to be shorter. Okay, I hear something in the snare which I want to add as well here. So what I will do over here, okay, I want to remove that part because I think I have a reverb kind of thing for this kick as well. Yeah, that's over here, I think. Yeah, I'm going to use this whole kick at the end. I don't know what's going on over here, so I think there's already a whole kick going on here. Yeah, so we don't need it anymore. Okay, so I need to overlap this a little bit more. I just dragged it towards here. When I press X, I can make a crossfade with the volume, and I will turn it back to the original, you know, channel. I don't know why it's a different channel though. It doesn't. Oh, this one goes to kick out, and this one to MB. I explained it a couple of times. MB cuts off the low frequency of anything I want, so mostly the melody and the percussion, and the reverb part. It doesn't have so much body in the low end, so it doesn't need to actually sidechain the leads. So I will just put this one to the kick out. So this one is pretty nice. And what I want to do right here is just at this part, the start of the breakdown. It's right over here. It's a nice sound. So I will just grab these and put them together and see what happens now when I play this intro part. Just wanna grab this part and create another reverse reverb, so it will like smoothly go into that sound, you know. Let me just grab this more towards the beginning. I don't need so much of it, just this. So it's now more announced, and I also want this crash to be over here, and I might need another effect just to give that little attack, but let me just listen first. This is nice.
Sometimes I feel I'm a butterfly. 'Cause right now my head got high. Come to my right, take me to your night, make me mine now. I wanna be on fire, I wanna feel right, I wanna feel right. So I do tonight, oh I do tonight. I'm feeling paradise, we couldn't even mind.
Alright, so I see a lot of questions over here. Can I open the Silence project? Can I show how I make scratches? What else do we have? Just the effects. Okay, we need a reverse bass tutorial as well. Yeah, what will I do? Because I've been working on this track, I only need an outro, and I can actually just use the outro part or just the reverse bass part, and I can just add it to the last part, you know, and that's not much of a work because everything sounds right. It's just getting those sounds over there, and that's also the main not the main thing of this track, you know. I think everything is really solid, and I want to thank you guys for all your great comments on this track, because that helps a lot. If you guys like it, then I'm of course even more confident about this track. Cool. Hey Adamus, I'm glad you're awake for this too. And on the Go 2019 edit, well, you guys have so many ideas, but I see a few things. Well, I will address one of them, and that's creating a screech, because it's really fun to create a screech, and there are multiple ways you can do that. Let me first I can do that in the project, that's no problem, you know. Let me just grab no, I will make a new project. I will make a new project for that, so let me just go back and close this one, and let me make a new project, just an empty one. And this is, I will make a screech in one of the most well-known, oh, it's already here. I will use the Silent. I know a lot of people use this plugin, and I'm going to use this one and only this one to create a really cool screech. So pay attention. Here we go. What I want to do, I only need actually 2 oscillators for this as well. So I have here a basic saw. The trick with this is it all comes down to this equalizer together with the distortion. But what I need as well, which is also very essential, is another oscillator which goes down kind of 3 oscillators, 3 octaves, and it has to be a sine. So what you will hear now is just, if you turn this off, it's just a really low sine. But what will happen if I turn this one up again, if I will distort this all together, you can really hear the sine coming through, almost as it's like an envelope, but it's just a low frequency that really distorts the overall sound, you know. So what I can also do is detune it a little bit. So that's already a really nice sound. But now what I just mentioned, you know, is this filter setup. Make sure you filter everything, so part A and B. I will just use a low pass. The cutoff, I will make it go over here. You can already hear a really nice sound. But what will happen if I open this resonance? And now I can play with this volume here, of course. What we can do now is just give a little LFO to the filter, use cutoff A and B together, and just slightly use this button to activate it. And now we can just adjust the rate, and don't forget this gain over here. offset over here. So now to fine tune it, some EQ, add some treble, turn it to 2-pole. I will put it back on 1-pole. And there is also a drive over here to give it even more distortion. And you can also play around some more with the oscillator over here, maybe turn it down one more. Well, that's not possible, maybe then turn the other one up. So I already played with the detune, but it's all about what you want to achieve with it, you know. If you want a more tight one, you can turn it down to 2 again and put the detune down. So what we can also do now is play with the pitch A and B. I can also make a little bit of an it's also a matter, of course, what you want to achieve. So I can also put all the voices up. So there we go. There we have some kind of a screech, you know. Maybe add some reverb. And if you want to get it more distorted, you can also work with the inserts, you know. If you put a trash on here, you can, and maybe also before that, equalizer to give it a little bit more distortion, you know. You can also add some. I just want to turn off the reverb again and just add the Valhalla over here. Valhalla room. Just use that one. If you don't want this pitch to go on, just play, because I have 2 oscillators left, you know, I can also add more depth and more layers to this screech and make it even more powerful, you know. So let me put this one, the filter, put it to A and B as well. Change this one to fold back maybe, or just a clip. You can also change the lower sine that I just created. For the low end you can also try to give it a different wave. Maybe a pulse. Maybe also detune it a little. Put the voices up. I like the sine better. Alright, so this is kind of a screech, you know. one more layer. So what you hear right now is a lot of feedback, and you see it coming through over here. So what you can do is add a gate, and you can just get rid of all those. Or maybe I should change the shape over here because question, don't you EQ in the low end? Well, I will if I have to. If I would put a kick on here, I will do the same thing I usually do with the side chaining, the multiband filter. So when a kick comes in, it just side chains the low frequency. That's what I can do. I can also automate it if you prefer that. But what I like in a screech, if it's just there without the kick, it's really nice to have the full spectrum of the body, you know. Else, if I would do it like this, if I just will add another EQ and, you know, cut off the low end. I really like this low end to come through, you know. This is yeah, I hope this is enough a screech for you, you know. But yeah, there are so many kinds of screeches that you can do. You can also do the really sawy one, the pretty nice. So that's the kind of screech that you can do, but you can also do a more like a sawy kind of screech, which you can hear and which you hear a lot in the older hardstyle tracks, you know. And that's basically just, you know, just a saw kind of a lead. I just turn the voices up, put it on stereo, detune it, and now what I have to do is just add an envelope to the pitch. I just put an envelope on the pitch, you know. I can also distort it a little. A little bit with the attack. Maybe a little chorus. So that's about, you know, just the easy sawy kind of screech. So together with this one, I can do actually the same with the one I did before, just also add an envelope, a pitch envelope, you know. So now you get all those weird sounds that you can use. So that's about making screeches. I hope you guys learned a lot with this little tutorial. I just made a screech, two kinds of screeches with the silent, really popular. And yeah, if you made one sound, you can also bounce it, of course, and use the audio to make really cool edits and stuff like that, you know. Yeah. Alright, so I see this question now a couple of times. Oh, Siri is watching as well. What I'm going to do right now, let me just save this one, you know, screech, silent. That's what I always do. It doesn't matter what I do in the studio. If I just started something just as little as this, always save what you did, you know. Always save, and always make new versions of your projects. If I work on one track, I have maybe 80 or 100 different versions, so you can also always roll back, you know. So now I also saved this just as screech, silent, and I can check it out one time, see what I did, and maybe I run two ideas and I can use it, you know. So I might even use this screech one time in a track, you know. Pretty cool. Alright, so very nice, very much this screech. And now because it's been requested so many times now, I will open the project Silence. I'm not sure what I'm going to show you guys in this track, but hey, let's have a look. It's right now it's loading over here, so let's just wait until it's there. Which which note should I make a screech? Well, that doesn't matter. Just use the note that's right in your project, in your the key of the kick you're going to put under there, you know. Silence will also be on my album, you know, together with also For You, which I released earlier last year. Those two will be on the album, but there will be a lot of new tracks as well. Alright, so here we go. I have my project over here. Let me see if you guys can actually see it again. Alright, this should be kind of okay. So here we have the project Silence. Same thing that I did over here, which I do in every track. You see some automation here in my groups as well. Some this is usually some muting or tape stops, you know. I really love doing tape stops as well, which is really nice. Done in the lead part. I don't know what you guys want to see. I will start with just the melody, of course, you know. This is a really significant part of the track. Second drop, let's go to this part over here. You can see there are some things going on. I used the Virus and the Moog as well. The Moog Voyager, the one that's over here. This one, really nice. I use this for the bass notes. Oh, I actually didn't use it for the bass notes this time. I made the lead with it. It's just one of those layers, you know, together with the Virus. Also another layer of the Virus. And the Virus C. So it's basically mostly hardware which I used, and you see that the MIDI notes are turned off here because when I use hardware I always record the lead. The Virus will load in anyway. I probably also muted it over here so that I can just bounce it and not bounce it real time but just regular, which is faster. So, but I now turned it on again. And the Virus C, it's on right now, so you can actually hear this lead. I'm not sure if I used the right bank over here. 33. Let me just go up and down a little. So here we go. Which is quite similar probably to this part, which I bounced over here. Yeah, it's exactly the same one. So I have the right preset over here. I will just leave the Moog over here as it is, because I didn't turn it on right now and I don't see the preset name in there, so I have to look for that. But it's all about, you know, these MIDI parts that you are interested in maybe. So what I will show you how the lead looks like with the MIDI notes, you know. So let me mute these two as well. Okay, so we have the virus, virus C, Moog all together. I will just go to melody. There's also a bass lead going on. So stack it up with the C. I'll go to this part because this one is full on melody, you know. So virus C. I used two virus instances. I used one for the main lead, one for the chords. Well, actually two main leads over here. One is this one, and an additional one. Set together, pretty loud. And then I also used one chord one, and that's another reason why I recorded this, because I used three layers over here in the virus, and if I play them all together, some notes might not be played because there are only 16 channels that I can use, and if you use chords and notes and everything will stack up, so I probably use too many notes now at the same time, so some notes might not be played, but hey, together with the virus C and everything, you can have a clear listen to what it is, you know. So let me go back to this MIDI part, and let me even just grab these bass notes over here. I will turn it on again. So these together form the melody. The notes are crazy over here, but I do this all the time, you know. I just built the whole melody and I just added some additional notes in between. Yeah, this is just how the MIDI looks, you know. So that's this part, and there's also a second part, of course, and there's another part at the last drop. So this one is quite different from the other one. I can open them all together, so you can also see this one and the bass notes over here. Then you can see what the difference is, you know. There's a different thing going on in the flow if you look at very closely. So this one goes different in a way that it starts off at the fourth beat. It starts off different. You see, and this one goes. So that's just a little change that you noticed when you listen to this track many more times, you know. Then you see all these little things, and that's what I like about this track as well, because that makes this makes it so special, you know. This is like really what I stand for: melodies and, you know, complex things. I love this, you know, and this is the second melody. So that's the melody part. I probably just I will just mute the MIDI parts again and let those audio files come through again, so that if I play it now it doesn't mess up the whole track. Let me just grab one more over here. So now we have just the audio, almost only the audio. Let me just fix this the right way over here. Alright, mute. So now all the muties are muted again, and the audio just recorded, you know. that's about the lead part of this track. And now we have, of course, another signature thing, which is these wobble kind of sounds, you know, which I all made with the with the Massive. This one. So this is actually just this sound here in the Massive. But then I recorded it and I just turned it down a little bit and I EQ'd it a little bit to get rid of a little bit of the high frequency over here. This is the original sound which I made in the Massive. Just stacked up layers, 2 layers. Yeah, a lot of distortion. There's some automation going on with the LFO, which the carbon one it's actually the one that really gives that wobble kind of sound. You really should play around with the carbon, which is like right over here, the carbon, and then just if you have that, just play around with the position, then you get that really wobbly kind of feel right away, you know. And if you automate that with you know with the LFO, that's really fun to work with. So that's what I use for that sound, you know. So that's the one over here. And same here. There's a different one over here. Oh, I'm sorry, not over here, but it's more further on in this track. There's a different one. One over here. Also same deal. I'm not sure if this is the right one. No, I made a few once, and okay, those are more the sounds that I use over here. I did a few sounds, and then I recorded them, and then I changed the sound for a different kind of feel, you know. But this is one over here, which I recorded, and now it's the audio over here. One over here maybe. Well, I just recorded it all and I messed up the audio actually. This is just this one, you know, like a siren kind of. So same deal also with the LFO, just with the Massive. The Massive is something, if you work with it so much, you can do any kind of sound, you know. It's so diverse, you can do so much automation. The waveforms selection are just insane, you know. You can do so much. You really, if you want to be if you want to focus on one of those subsynths, you really should look up the Massive, and that's so awesome. And I know there is a Massive X coming, and it shouldn't be I think it should be released already, and I want to play around with that one as well. Okay, anyway, that's about this this Massive, you know. Really cool sound. So that's this part where it goes a little bit more insane at, you know, after the melody. Vocal coming up here, you know, just a part of the vocal. I got it from the voice part, you know. I can hear your voice. I can hear this comment about that clipping that I'm always talking about, not clip in the master. Well, if I turn off the actual plugins which I use, oh, it's right behind my face, so it's the ones over here. I used equalizer just a little bit because I noticed there was some things I wanted to change, a little boost here and a little gap over there. And this is my maximizer. It's just basically just a limiter, you know. I didn't put the limiter on, so I just used it as a, well, just used it to clip the sound. Well, not clip the sound, but just boost it and cut off the top end. So there's not much going on, but it's plus 7 dB. So if I turn off this little plugin, let me scroll down to the stereo out again, which is over here. If I turn it off, and this is the master output over here, if I turn it off, then you can see it's not clipping, you know. Turn it on again. So that's really important to keep those dynamics, you know. It's you don't want to clip at the master, because if you clip, you will distort your track, you know, and that's something you don't want to do. At least you want to have control over that, you know. So again, without this little plugin over here, which I use to boost the sound, you know, if you turn it off, it should not be clipping. And this is the loudest part of the track. Get it over here as well. Stereo out again. I don't know why it's not on top. I think I should turn that on. Well, it's not possible. Anyway, again, this part, you know, same deal. Not clipping. That's the way you can really keep those dynamics, you know. So that's about this track Silence. I did it. You guys could have a look inside this project, and yeah, that's how I built this track, you know. Like I always build my tracks, you know, it's kind of the same method I use every time. Alright, so I kind of did that as well, and I also think this is a cool end of the stream of day 3, you know. What do I want to say at the end? Again, the kick tutorial contest, I will let it pop up again. Only 3 days left. The 6th of January I will close it and I will review it, and I will pick a winner for the QS10 license. Yeah, I think this was a really fun day. This was day 3 of my live stream. I played a new track for you guys. I worked on it, and yeah, I showed you Silence. I showed you how to make a screech, and I'm looking forward to what's going to happen tomorrow at day 4. So thank you guys so much for watching again, and I will see you tomorrow. Let me close this up, and bye bye.